Maloney was waiting for her husband to come home from work. Now and again she would glance up at the clock, but without anxiety, merely to please herself with the thought that each minute gone by made it nearer to the time that he would come. There was a slow, smiling air about her and about everything she did. The drop of a head as she bent over her sewing was curiously tranquil. Her skin, for this was her 6th month with child, had acquired a wonderful translucent quality, and the mouth was soft, and the eyes, with their new placid look, seemed larger and darker than before. When the clock said 10 minutes to 5, she began to listen, and a few moments later, punctually as always, she heard the tires in the gravel outside, and the car door slamming, the footsteps passing in the window, the key turning in the lock. She laid aside her sewing, stood up, and went forward to kiss him as he came in.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
For her, this was always a blissful time of day. She knew he didn't want to speak much until the first drink was finished, and she, on her side, was content to sit quietly, enjoying his company after the long hours alone in the house. She loved to luxuriate in the presence of this man, and to feel, almost as a sunbather feels, the warm male glow that came out of him to her when they were alone together. She loved him for the way he sat loosely in a chair, for the way he came in a door, or moved slowly across the room with long strides.
Tired, darling?
She loved the intent, far look in his eyes when they rested on her, the funny shape of his mouth, and especially the way he remained silent about his tiredness, sitting still with himself until the whiskey had taken some of it away.
Yes, I'm tired.
I'll get it, darling.
Sit down.
Darling, shall I get your slippers?
No.
You know what? I think it's a shame that when a policeman gets to be as senior as you, they keep him walking about on his feet all day long. Darling, would you like me to get you some cheese? I haven't made any supper because it's Thursday.
No.
If you're too tired to eat out, it's not too late. I can call Sean and Hannah and say we've decided to stay home. There's plenty of meat in the freezer, and you can have it right here without having to move at all.
I don't want it.
But you must eat. I'll fix it anyway, and you can have it or not as you like.
Sit down. For a minute, just sit down. Go, sit down. I've got something to tell you.
What is it, darling? What's wrong?
Well, hope it doesn't come as too much of a shock to you, but I've been thinking about it and I've decided the only way is just to tell you. I hope you don't blame me too much. I'm leaving you. I have to. I don't love you anymore, and, well, we haven't made love in 3 months. So there it is. Of course, I'll see that you have money and that you're looked after, but that's about it. There shouldn't be any fuss. I hope there isn't anyway, and it wouldn't be good for my job.
Her first instinct was not to believe any of it, to reject it all. It occurred to her that perhaps he hadn't even spoken, that she herself had imagined the whole thing. Maybe, if she went about her business and acted as though she hadn't been listening, then later, when she sort of woke up again, she might find none of it had ever happened.
I'll get supper.
When she walked across the room, she couldn't feel her feet touching the floor. She couldn't feel anything at all, except for a slight nausea and desire to vomit. Everything was automatic now. Down the steps to the cellar, the light switch, the deep freeze, the hand inside the cabinet taking hold of the first object it met. A leg of lamb.
Right then, we'll have lamb for supper.
For God's sake, don't make me dinner. I'm going out.
So I've killed him.
It was extraordinary now how clear her mind became all of a sudden. She began thinking very fast. As the wife of a detective, she knew quite well what the penalty would be. That was fine. It made no difference to her. In fact, it would be a relief. On the other hand, what about the child? What were the laws about murderers with unborn children? Did they kill both, mother and child? Or did they wait until the 10th month? What did they do? Mary Maloney didn't know, and she certainly was not prepared to take a chance.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Sam. I'd like some potatoes and I think a can of peas.
Hello, Hannah dear. It's Mary Maloney. I'm fine, thank you, and yourself?
Hello, Sam. I think I would like some potatoes and a can of peas. Well, we usually eat out with the Fredericks on Thursday nights, but Patrick doesn't want to go, and now he's caught me without any vegetables in the house.
Glad to hear it. Listen, dear, Patrick's decided he's tired and doesn't want to eat out tonight. I'm terribly sorry to cancel on you last minute like this.
No, I've got meat, thanks. I've got a nice leg of lamb in the freezer. I usually don't like cooking it frozen, but do you think it'll be all right, Sam?
Oh, you're such a doll. Thank you so much for understanding. Oh yes, we'll be fine. I've got a nice leg of lamb in the freezer. I'm about to run out to Sam's groceries to get some vegetables. Give Sean the best for me, will you? Thanks again, dearest. We'll see you next Thursday.
Hello, Patrick. How are you? Come quickly. It's my husband Patrick. He's lying on the floor and I think he's dead. Yes, it's Mary Maloney. Oh, good, you're coming.
Hello, officer.
Hello, Mrs. Maloney. Did you do it, baby?
Yes.
And you're just in time for dinner.